The album opens with the track Outside. It sets a great pace and feel for the next 40 minutes. Now, for the first song off this hip-hop album, there isn't an 808 or hi-hat in sight. If you didn't tell me this was an Injury Reserve album, I'd guess this was a lost song off the Fantastic Planet soundtrack. Glitching textures and weird schizophrenic spoken word intro. This song and a lot of the songs off this seem like transcribed abstract poetry. It's more akin to an experimental synth-pop song than a rap song. It's disorienting and bizarre. The group takes almost a math rock approach to things, where sounds aren't always on sync and the vocals are intentionally offbeat.
But the melodies of Live Your Life and Levitating are nearly identical. The same notes of the key are being targeted on the same beats with the same rhythm, a rhythm which is called the Charleston, a dotted eighth followed by a 16th note followed by a rest. The first beat in both songs emphasizes the 5 of the key, F sharp. The third beat emphasizes the 4 of the key, E. The first beat of the following measure also emphasizes the 4 of the key, E. And the next beat stays on the 4 of the key, E, although the underlying chord change is different.
B tier is full of shows that I loved from beginning to end, and to close that night that I keep talking about, seeing ASAP Mob perform with the occasional feature from Danny and Q was fantastic. It feels like a cheat code to having a lively set, but when you put 10 plus guys on stage, including Rocky, Ferg, Yams, and so on, how could it not be entertaining? P.S. One of my all-time favorite concert memories was being a small 14-year-old kid at this show, and this enormous man that introduced himself as Kentucky befriended me, told me that he would beat up anyone that looked at me the wrong way, and I specifically remember us being arm in arm and going crazy when Chief Keef's I Don't Like played during an intermission.
I feel like the new Black Ken Rollins. Niggas studying my footwork, I'm James Harden. Back in this bitch with a C in the case. All in the gram, but don't be in my face. If you keep going, I see what you hate. You know how I do it, I see what you make to stop it. You can't feed your kid cause you spent that shit on your car. Take my hands, I'm going over squares like a VCR.
Whoa! Shit! Oh shit! Whoa! Shit! Oh, that is. Oh! Cuz! Yes! Yes! Oh! Oh, the production! Woo! Oh my God! I fuck with this. I fuck with this. Hell of an opener. Hell of an opener. Oh, the production on this track alone got my attention like a motherfucker.
I'm gonna add a little lead swell, like a little lead like riff into the drop thing here. It's a D minor, right? Alright, hold up. Let's go up here. Let's get a lead in here. Let me know what this sounds like. What's that? That's gotta be fire, right? Dying kazoo. It's an angry kazoo. Insane.
So just a quick recap of what happened. Do you guys remember how sometime back in February, Skye and Kid Cudi ended up getting into it? They had a very public beef, which was sparked by Kid Cudi being friends with Pete Davidson. So what happened was Kanye posted a handwritten letter telling his fans that Cudi wouldn't be on Donda 2. And in that post he said, because he's friends with you-know-who. Now that you-know-who, that's Pete Davidson. Him and Kid Cudi have been really good friends for a couple years now. Kanye obviously didn't care about that. From his perspective, Cudi chose the enemy, so now he gets treated as the enemy. Kid Cudi ended up responding back to Kanye by saying, "Too bad, I don't want to be on your album, you fucking dinosaur. Ha 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 ha. Everyone knows I've been the best thing about your album since I met you. I'ma pray for you, brother."
I got the blood in my mouth. Usually I'm drug free, but shit, I'm with the homies. Yeah.
The tone that exists within that song, man, I can't even describe. I don't even know how he manages to pull it off, because there's this really just this feeling, this emotion of being swept away and caught up in this thing and not wanting to do it, but also not fighting it and just going with it. And then also this duality of I shouldn't be doing this, but also justifying it to himself.
Doing your mom. Doing your mom. Doing your mom.
Doing Your Mom is a classic, but the amount of dated meme references in that song often gets overlooked. They have an over 9,000 reference. Oh yeah, and I forgot the Chris Brown line. Now this song definitely sounds like the era it came out in. But you also got to remember, okay, Ray William Johnson's 30 years old, okay, when he came out with this shit, all right? I'm just saying, this is an important detail.
So we went and rocked the minivan like giggity, giggity, giggity. I was riding you live.
Holy shit, dude. Oh my god, it's so bad. These references really do not stand very well.
And she saw me butt naked, now she thinks I'm half black. But your mom's the best.
I think even though the music is raw, it tells a story. Now, you coming up, obviously you grew up in the suburbs, so you ain't see none of this shit.
Yeah.
All right. So, but, you know, as me as a child, coming up a little bit in the projects and stuff like that, you know, you see the stories that they tell. Mm-hmm. It's like, damn, I remember some of that. It wasn't, but don't get me wrong. Even though I was coming into projects, it wasn't this bad.
Yeah.
To me, when I looked at project life, even as a kid, it was fun.
Right.
But you did see some of this stuff in the storyline. It's the same, but it's more amplified.
Yeah.
What if Clancy fucking me over? What if who that boy is rhetorical when this shit is over? What if I'm hustling backwards? What if my accountant ain't paying my taxes, filling his pockets, and I always show up asking me questions, and I'm only known for tweets more than beats, or all my day ones turn to 3/4s cause of track 7. What if I get stuck? What if I got comfortable?
Whoa, sorry, so much just happened. This is so interesting the way it's like things are so directly addressed right here. What if Clancy fucking me over? What if who that boy is rhetorical and this shit is over? What if my music too weird for the masses and I'm only known for tweets more than beats? Or all my day ones turned to 3/4s because of track 7, which is Garden Shed. This writing right here, some of my favorite, I think.
Okay, we're on a little bit of a roll here because I'm putting this one in the S tier. I'm sure a lot of you watching this video haven't heard this, and you need to go and change that as soon as possible. Smiling with No Teeth is an easy S and one of the most creative projects that I've heard the entire year. The concept of the album is easy enough to follow, and it is presented in a really cool way, with the idea of it basically being that there's 2 symbolic black dogs in Genesis Owusu's life. One of them is depression, that's pretty common symbolism for depression, which is covered in the first half of the tracks, and the other black dog is racism, which is covered in most of the second half songs in the project, before going into a few songs at the end that cover both of the black dogs.
Okay, but check this out. So the lightsaber changes the chord. I don't know if they meant to do this. They probably did. Did they? I don't even know. But the lightsaber changes the chord. Watch this. Can you hear the pitch of that lightsaber? Ba, ba, way down. Right? It's E. What happens when you take a G minor chord and you add an E to it? It makes it a half diminished chord, an E minor 7 flat 5 chord. And the combination makes this dramatic, disastrous kind of sound that encapsulates what's happening here.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I always kind of thought to myself that comeback was unlikely. But I at least thought that after all that backlash, this man would have at least attempted to put the work in necessary. But you know what? The motherfucker didn't, alright? He fucking didn't. From the time up until now, this man dropped 3 songs. 3 fucking songs. He took a 9-month break after this catastrophe of an album, and then took another 6 months off to drop this.
I'ma take souls if it come to that. You was fucking with them niggas, girl, you know that you was dead wrong.
The outro into the intro hints at a fast forward in time,
And The Weeknd has now found himself early in the stages of a new relationship on the track Is There Someone Else? Unfortunately, the character development he'd undergone in the previous track wasn't enough to escape his suspicions when falling for this new woman. However, his experience serves him best, confronting his lover that he knows she's hiding another man who's been close to her heart from the very beginning of their relationship. Although he has no proof, in The Weeknd's mind, he can tell there's an ex involved by the way she looks at him when they fight. He wants her to let him go, and fears she's not committed to the now. But she won't admit he exists for the selfish reason she loves both The Weeknd and her ex.
And this is just not me hating. Oh, wow. The critics have been dogging this album as well. And I've seen people online dogging this album as well.
What'd they say?
This? Damn. Did you just bark?
I didn't connect it either. But
that's a Jack Harlow bark. They been dogging me.
Jesus. Y'all are mean as fuck. Jesus Christ.
The Friday it came out, Rod.
He was ready.
I was ready, Mike. I was like, let me see what this Jack Harlow about. I put this shit on. Down,
like that? See, that's how you know it's some bullshit. When he hit him with this one.
They're young whippersnapper talking about.
Shout out to What's Next in particular for the single ballsiest line of the entire year.
I'm on a hot 100, numero uno. This one ain't come with a bundle.
Good lord. I mean, even if you're Drake, declaring that your song is gonna go to #1 in the lyrics of the song itself is fucking bold. I mean, Drake knows the industry better than anyone. I'm sure he deliberately picked the best date he possibly could to ensure that the song would have no competition. But just imagine if he, I don't know, dropped a song on the same day as Driver's License. A song that blew up out of nowhere that no one saw coming. If Drake had a song in his catalog that bragged about being #1 only for it to debut at #2 behind some random teen sitcom star? Okay, well, I'm sure on the one hand, Game would have no choice but to recognize Game, but on the other hand, man, I don't know if that's something that even Drake could come back from.
Then I played through the chords of Once a Day, and when I got to that final unstable chord the album ends on, I followed it with this E major chord. I'll spare you all the technical details, but in music theory, this is a proper resolution. The final unresolved chord of circles is resolved by the chord that begins the album. It closes the loop. The album Circles is a circle.
I try, but I can't find a single word.
They say I'm up and coming like I'm fucking in an elevator.
3, 2, 1.
Put Pierre Bourne.
I put Tupac Shakur.
This is Ed Sheeran.
What?
Is that a joke?
Ed Sheeran?
Ed Sheeran said this.
This is Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran said this.
Yes.
In a song?
No way. I need to hear this. What the hell? What is wrong with him?
Hey, Mr. Sheeran, you got 2 new fans.
Up and coming? He's like the biggest artist in the world. When was this?
This was off his first project, the Orange cover.
Oh my god.
They say I'm up and coming like I'm fucking in an elevator. 'Cause you need me, man.
Who was in the video?
Some guy.
What the hell?
That wasn't it, Sheeran.
Am I having Mandela effect?
Oh, okay! Set my ass in motion!
If you only pray on Sunday, prove of if she saw.
Oh, if she? God is a woman.
Look away. She'd wanna get involved.
Oh, shit!
If they listen to the wall.
Oh my god, my ass.
I can see it clear as day.
Oh, the vocal, oh, the echoes. Oh my god.
Let me paint a picture for you. You are a Hamilton superfan. You have all the merch, you've been to Broadway to see the show live more times than you can count on your hands, and in an effort to become the true #1 Hamilton lover, you decide to do research on some of your favorite original cast members. After making your way down the list, you finally reach Daveed Diggs. After doing some digging, you discover that Diggs is in a rap group, and so you click on their first album, and you click play on the very first track. This is what you would hear.
Ghosts on the avenue were talking to themselves. Somebody been selling them dreams again. Breathe again. The breeze is full of trees again. The beast buried under the streets is about to leave. The den of thieves and hooligans ready to fettuccine the noodles of any cook looking new to the kitchen. Cooking up wishes and powder flour. The pan and the cake will bake even better. The cheddar stay in the refrigerator to keep it fresh until it's on.
Millionaires were made out of middlemen. That hole in the attic was not for a ceiling fan. Army Celine, the wardrobe is Militaw pyramids. Just so you remember who you dealing with. The purest snow was selling white
Listen to the
privilege.
delivery. This is what I'm talking about. Upcoming artists. I hear so many of you guys. You play me your music. You ask me to feedback on your music, or I'm just listening. People get pushed out on Twitter. And some of you guys are good. You can write or you can sing. But being able to sell those words into a microphone and perform and deliver like this will separate you. If you can work on that early, that will separate you from the pack so quickly. Listen to the anger in his voice.
Trout mask replica. I don't know. I went into this album with no expectations of what it was gonna sound like, and I still don't know what it's supposed to sound like. There was a few people in my Discord that mentioned the fact that like the album is supposed to sound the way it sounds, and like this is done on purpose, which I think adds a whole new layer to this album's intricacies. It sounds like really messy, but in a cohesive way, if that makes sense. There's honestly some parts of this album that are really fucking groovy. I love the last track on this album, but it is a pretty hefty chore to get through this thing, especially if you're not open to the way it sounds. I want to understand this more. I just don't know if I'm gonna be able to. I sort of get it. I think I get it.
When I was a young boy, my father asked me to put My Chemical Romance's The Black Parade on this list. I'm not sure why, but it worked out in the end. So to start,
I chime in with a haven't you people ever heard of?
the explosion of 2000s emo rock. Whether you were going down swinging or in the business of misery, bands like Fall Out Boy, Paramore, and Panic at the Disco brought emo rock to the forefront of pop music in the early 2000s. One of the other bands carrying the Warped Tour branded torch of emo rock through the 2000s was My Chemical Romance. Inspired to start a band after seeing the Twin Towers fall, Gerard Way and his bandmates had already created 2 acclaimed emo rock albums, but their third, The Black Parade, was built different.
The bombastic danceable opener One More Time was the first track to be completed, and reorganizes a sample by Eddie Johns in a very interesting way.
So mandatory, my elevation, my lyrics like orientation. So you could be more familiar with the nigga you facing. We must be patient, nothing better than communication. Known to damage and highly flammable like gas stations.
Caroline, see Caroline, all the guys would say she's mighty fine. Mighty fine. But mighty fine only got you somewhere half the time. And the other half either got you cussed out or coming up short. Yeah, and they dig this now.
I ain't the type to trick, but she go hard for the call. Type to bust it open wide and have me close down the mall. We ain't gotta take it slow. She just hit the door.
And if we continue on, there's a quote. I could be a complete failure by June. But I don't see that happening. I see Grammys.
Uh-huh. Yes. 2 of those, nigga.
Congratulations. And in honor of 2 Grammys, I have a gift for you. A Trina from 2002.
Be all right.
12-inch.
Yes.
No, this is kind of inspirational, isn't it?
I love this. I love this song. This beat is so good.
Insane movements of rock groups like AC/DC. Look at James Brown. The man's doing a split. He's spinning around. He's working, doing all this. The cool, collected way that Jimi Hendrix just rocks out on his guitar. The way Prince can do a guitar solo for like 10 minutes, no one's gonna be mad at it. Just, you can do it an hour-long solo and we'll watch it. Lady Gaga always has striking choreography and costumes on top of her already amazing voice. Ariana Grande has the vocals of an angel that came down and then decided to do Nickelodeon first before going into pop. Just the sight of Michael Jackson was having people falling on the ground and passing out. He didn't even start playing music yet. Imagine the sight of this man is so good, you're unconscious. That's the kind of stage presence this man had.
But what constitutes as a feature? Like, is there some hidden rule? What if the original artist isn't there on the vocal side of things at all? Well, look no further than in the world of EDM, as these guys get away with it constantly. See, in the world of EDM, the artists and DJs making these songs don't actually sing on them. I know, this is super taboo, but bear with me. They get people who actually do know how to bust it down on the mic to do that job for them. Artists like David Guetta, Tiesto, Avicii, Deadmau5, Major Lazer, DJ Snake, Zed, not to be confused with Zed's Dead, totally different. These peeps lay the backing track, aka all the wubs and dubs you hear, and get someone they know to do their thing on the mic. But because they're not present vocally, it can be a bit confusing to some, as over the past decade, you can see this general confusion on what they actually do. This is a Nicki Minaj song! Just like this kid clean.
It's such a clear sample loop, like no attempt at all to let it fade into each other. Interesting production choice, but I'm here for it.
I'm not sure if I'm to blame, yeah.
Is it a breakup song? Because this kind of like back and forth does feel like the initial emotions you feel after a breakup. Like, you want to blame someone. Is it my fault? Is it their fault? Maybe it's no one's fault, you know? Nobody's perfect. I don't know. Oh, cute. A nice little instrumental outro. Really loving the messaging on this album so far.
And you so numb, you watch the cops choke out a man like me. Until my voice goes from a shriek to whisper, I can't breathe.
That line was originally written in reference to the murder of Eric Garner, but it took on a new meaning when police officer Derek Chauvin knelt on the neck of George Floyd for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, killing Floyd and kicking off one of the largest protest movements in American history. A huge part of the power in Killer Mike's verse is its seeming prescience. But while the battle for racial justice has taken center stage right now, police brutality is nothing new in America. It's a continuation of a system of oppression that has existed since the country's founding.
I tried. I'm trying to break down all these lyrics. He writes lyrics in such an oblique way, so poetic, but then he has all these themes that recur. So I want to show you what my process has been. I'm full Charlie Day on this. This is what I'm up to, okay? This is my code sheet where I printed out all the lyrics and I came up with all the themes that repeat all the way through, okay? If you want to like pause it and take a look and try to read my handwriting, you can do that. And I would go through on the papers and I would try to figure it all out and make sure that I knew where all these themes were. And so I roughly broke them down into 3 or 4 primary themes that dominate the album.
And one thing that's interesting about A Whole Lot of Red is that when I do start to listen to the lyrics, I find myself having a great time.
Can't fuck with nobody, not even my shadow.
Playboi Carti is funny. I don't know if he's trying to be, but he is funny.
They thought I was gay.
Of course, for the most part, it's very simple and not a whole lot to unravel, but the one-liners get me.
Never get put that side, purple like lean. They can't understand me, I'm talking hieroglyphics. Take my shirt off and now the whole stop breathing. I just pat her ass and tell her good shit. I'm for the bitch in Panama.
Just getting killed by the children, feeling sick so quick. This could have happened to me.
Oh, he the goat.
Telling stories about your dad and your niece. Listen, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Kid dies, the blacker the killer, the sweeter the news. And if you give him a chance, he's ill and confused. If he's black, he's probably armed. You see him and shoot. Look, black.
Y'all just don't understand, bro. There's been this YouTube stuff, man. I've been in YouTube for a long time. It gets there was a period where YouTube wasn't that easy for black people. Let's keep it tall. It was very racist. It was very racist. If y'all been on my channel for a long time, y'all know. If y'all been from the beginning, y'all know what era I'm talking about. So just to have this be winning on my channel really means something to me.
I would have rather them just not even put Sims on the list, because now I'm gonna get mad. Okay, nice picks. I mean, it's just when you look at these, it's like, where does Sims fit into this? How the fuck is Fly God? All right, bro. Oh my fucking god. I didn't even get any thoughts out. I got no thoughts out about the Divine Feminine, and then immediately I see Flo Millie. I see it down here, bro. I see it. What the fuck going on?
Okay.
There is nothing in my mind that tells me while I'm listening to Goody Mob, oh wait, you remember that Flo Milli record? Yeah, let's put her in the... What's the rubric for the best albums of all time?
This album is so refreshing for me. I'll talk about it at the end, but I feel so refreshed right now. Come on, this whole bit here. Retro 90s R&B, excellent tempo. Yeah. I love the music production on this. And those chimes in there.
Let's kick it off with Right Said Fred. Oh boy, when I think of the term one-hit wonder, these are the first people that come to mind. Turns out it's not just a guy named Fred. There's like at least 2 guys. I don't know who this third fella is, but there's 2 guys make one Fred, at least. Maybe the third one comes in from time to time. And they're from England. They're known for their song, I'm Too Sexy. You recognize that song? Do you recognize this? Ooh, do you recognize that song? You might, if you're a fan of Drake.
I say,
And the transition. Excellent. Oh, you fucking Prince of Persia ass beat. What the hell? All these beats go dumb in the stereo, but I'm just too smart for the radio. Oh! All these beats go dumb in a stereo, but I'm just too smart for the radio. What? Ice creams ever since I was a teen. I'm focused on the cream, on the clothes, and the kicks. And I don't think I want an X-wing. I'm just on the next thing. Dude! For a coat fresh off a Sasquatch. Told me to.
Look, it could be worse, and believe me, it does, in fact, get worse, deeper into the record, because it's past this point that, in my opinion, the track list becomes a totally barren, irredeemable wasteland. Paper Cuts, for example, is a woe is me cringe anthem, where MGK has internalized all the hate against him. He's been demonized because he's got an angel face. He's got demons, and he is not going to therapy. And he even packs in a little rap verse on the back end to show the critics I didn't switch genres. I could still spit. Damn, y'all said that I switched genres. I saw the limit and took it farther. I'm a genius. Could have made Donda, but this song is for my dead father. What exactly does he mean here? He saw the limit of what? Of like hip hop? And instead you saw the long-term potential in pop punk? And also, you're a genius. You could have made Donda? Bro, you could not have even made Donda 2.
You cut out a piece of me and now I bleed internally, left here without you, without you.
2021 was the breakout year of Kid Laroi, a teenage Australian that was allegedly Juice WRLD's protege. And I'm trying to be nice here, like as a singer, he certainly has an extremely expressive voice.
But I'm scared to be alone.
Communicates a lot about his character immediately, the same way that the squeaky voiced teen on The Simpsons really embodies a character.
Whoops! Fell in the fryer. I'll get it out. Oh! Oh!
And that's as close as I got. Obviously, I did not succeed in finding a way to like this.
Now if I fuck this model and she just bleach her asshole, and I get bleach on my t-shirt,
I was just talking about Jesus. What the hell happened?
I was high when I met her. We was down at Tribeca. She get under your skin if you let her. She get under your skin. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't
Where's
even
the
want
Lord?
to talk about it. I don't even want to
I'm
say
serious, I'm
nothing.
shocked.
Everybody gonna say.
Hey Kanye, if you're ever watching this, like you got me going, and I actually was high-fiving him talking about the Lord.
And
then you talked about a bleached asshole.
That's the line that shocked everybody at the first listen. I was very excited for you to hear that line.
I just fucked this model and she bleached her asshole.
If I get bleached on my t-shirt,
I'm gonna feel like an asshole. Oh my god.